Hello guys, my name is TheRussianBadger and welcome to the top 10 plays of Battlefield 3 presented by Hazard Cinema episode 23. And coming in at number 10 we have Chippy H, who decides to get some serious arc on his small. Now look at this distance, just he shoots, he scores. Now the only thing that I would want is a distance marker. Like, I want to know how far away that helicopter was. I know we get marksman headshots for sniper rifles, but I wish we had the same thing for smalls. Now, at number 9, we have AN Surprised Face Dash Biss. I don't know how to pronounce that, but he threads the needle and splits these guys like a pack of firewood. My favorite part is that they symmetrically flipped in the same sort of rotational pattern. I thought it was very beautiful, the symmetry in the way that they flipped. Coming in at number 8, we have Out of the Lone Wolf, who that is the only time that he's going to aim down sight in this entire clip. He does this sort of MLG Pro crouch walk technique, which I utilize very often because I'm that pro. Certified MLG, but look at how many... The no-scopes are so prevalent, I feel like Skrillex and some sort of lens flare should be blaring in the background. It's almost like a necessary requirement. And I don't know how this changes things, but I would say that he's on hardcore, and I'm actually interested to see how you hardcore players play differently. As in, do you guys just rely more on sound? Because obviously there's no mini-map and you do more damage. So I'm interested to see if hardcore is more campy. I've never really played it on Battlefield 3. I played a little bit on Bad Company 2, but I'm interested to see if hardcore is actually more campy because I've just never played it. And coming in at number 7, we have Elotion, rhymes with ocean and emotion, if I'm not mistaken. And he's going to be using the SPAS 12. It took me a second or two to figure it out, but it seems that he's using slugs. And he has his flanking technique down, and for those of you that are not familiar, I would easily say, without sounding that I don't want to make it sound braggy, because any kind of statistic that I would read of my own sounds really braggy. He got that guy perfectly. He put in one shell, hit him right in the chest piece, which is just wonderful. But I have approximately 4,500 kills with the SPAS. I'm not trying to brag with that statistic. I'm just trying to say that I have enough experience with it that I know roughly the ammunition types and the way that they work correctly. And I can easily say that he's using this very well. However, you will notice sometimes where it looks like he has his reticle directly on the enemy and he's not killing him. It's because the slug comes out usually right around the center, but it's not always perfectly in the center. It's sort of like a sniper rifle no-scope, but it's not quite the same thing. So you'll notice sometimes when it looks like, oh man, he has his reticle directly on that guy's face, yet it didn't kill him. It will notice that sometimes it's a little bit random where the slug will output itself in terms of a little circle reticle. But for the most part, it's fairly consistent, and there is one thing about the slugs that will drive you crazy. Now, granted, using the slugs can be extremely convenient because you can headshot people like that from extremely long distances. That was obviously just, he's almost like breathing in your mouth, you're so close, but you will notice that the slugs have really great distance, but if you hit the guy in the legs, he's going to be left with 9% health, and you're going to get really, really frustrated. Now, coming in at number 6, we have, I believe his name is just, is it something like, are we back in serfdom in England? Like he's saying, is his name Milord? I'm not exactly how to pronounce it. Maybe it's Lord, like something is tasty. I'm not exactly sure. He was just trying to heal these guys. Give me your sandwich, dog. But it seemed like he was just trying to help these guys out on the enemy team. He's trying to revive them, give them some sort of medical treatment, and he ended up killing every single one of them. I didn't even know that you could enter that white van. That just confused me. I was previously unaware that you could go inside of that thing. That seems like a really convenient location, not only to just lurk and hide out in, as in enemies can run past you and then you can knife them in the back or something similar, but also too, it seems very, very effective for reloading. Now, anytime that he's at it again, he's just trying to help these guys out with some friendly paddle care, and that's not really working out in their favor, certainly in his favor. But I'm interested to see. I feel as if these countdowns, and you know I watch other ones, like I watch Big Mooney's countdown, and there's a few other ones that I watch in terms of Battlefield 3 and other games. And I'm always interested to see whether or not you guys like the longer clips where it's like, this guy killed 5,000 people in a span of 2 minutes. Would you like to see that? I'm always interested to see whether you guys enjoy that more than, oh look, this guy, like the number 10 clip for example, this guy just hit that helicopter with a small from like 400 meters away. I'm always interested to see whether or not you guys like the longer clips that include more kills or the ones that are sort of more unique or spectacular clips. I'm always interested to see, because I would easily say that a lot of these countdowns that you see on YouTube are quite equivocal in terms of the order. I think 1 and 2 are usually pretty solidified. Like, damn. That is like, number 1 and 2 are very, very exciting and unique clips that are just, it obviously deserves that number 1 and 2 spot. But I think the ones beyond that are oftentimes equivocal and they're ambiguous, debatable as to, oh, 5 was better than 8, or number 7 spot was better than number 4 spot. So I'm always interested to see your input in terms of if you guys like the longer clips or the shorter clips that are a little bit more spectacular. And coming in at number 5, we have X-Ho-Ho, who instead of no-scoping like he was, or no-scoping and quick-scoping and hard-scoping and dark-scoping, I don't know what those Call of Duty kids call it nowadays, he gets the tank conveniently, but obviously he's not using a sniper rifle this week. He is using the Humvee, which can be extremely deadly, especially on Damavon Peak. I like to use it a little bit earlier on in Damavon Peak. You'll notice that it's very good for clearing the enemy waves, especially as your team tries to move forward. So it's sort of a team-oriented vehicle if you use it correctly. However, it's very, very vulnerable because obviously one RPG and you're already disabled. It won't directly explode. Like, it's not like, oh lord, I just got hit by an RPG, my life is now over. It's not that sort of thing. It's, you'll get hit by an RPG when you're in a Humvee and you'll die slowly because your vehicle is disabled. But he showcased some skill beyond the beyond the Humvee as he got out and he got some quick scopes on and some. I can always debate. I know some of you are hardcore Magnum fans, and as you can see, Dark Betrayed coming in at number 4 is a Magnum fan instead of an MP412 Rex fan. But I'm always interested to see what you guys think in terms of, do you like the Rex more, or do you like the MP412? Like, do you like the MP412 Rex more, or the I don't want to call it MP44 because that's the wrong reference, but the 44 Magnum versus the MP412 Rex? I would easily say that I think the recoil is a little bit more manageable on the 44 Magnum. It seems like as you can see here, it seems like the Magnum, it resets a little bit better, and the MP412 Rex, it bounces around violently. It's almost like it's breaking your wrist. Not that the 44 Magnum isn't theoretically breaking your wrist. It almost looks like that when you are firing it. However, I think that the rate of fire definitely gives the MP412 Rex an edge in close quarters. But I think a lot of people are really comfortable at hitting those headshots. Like, there's 2 straight headshots from Dark Betrayed coming in at number 4. I think that there's another one just to showcase it for you. So I definitely think in terms of, this is the way that I like to think about it. If I've got more than 2 to 3 enemies like directly in front of me and I want to go for headshots because that's the only way that I'm going to survive, if I need to pick out headshots, most of the time I'll pick out the 44 Magnum, and I think a lot of you will agree with me. But I definitely think the MP412 Rex, if I'm going up against one guy, you can easily just spam it and the hip fire is good enough and the rate of fire is so high. 2-shot the guy. You kill him really, really quickly anyways. And one other thing that I would like to point out in terms of beyond the 44 Magnum versus MP412 Rex argument is that Dark Betrayed is very good at prediction. You'll notice that although some shots you'll notice are a little bit off, he can usually accurately predict exactly where a guy's head is going to be. Now, there's 2 body shots, but he ends up cleaning up his act by, even through the smoke, he has enough sort of wherewithal and enough skill with the sniper rifle here that he can pick out somebody's face through the smoke. Now, granted, he has a little flashlight to help him, but you'll notice, especially on the move targets, I think that's where you really start to polish off your recon skills. Is sure, you can acquire targets quickly and you can react in close quarter situations like this, but I think really when you can hit targets on the move, that shows that you're in a higher class. Like, consistently hitting headshots while on the move, I think it's a higher class of recon. Coming in at number 3, we have everyone's favorite, including my favorite, who's Thready, and he decides to hit this guy in a helicopter in the face from 643 meters away while it's falling backwards while on fire. I think that's awesome enough for me. Now, coming in at number 2, we have Trouser Python, who, look at the angle of this. He jumps into the backseat and hits the helicopter cinematically. Perfect shot. Now, personally, I thought he was going to easily hit that building. I thought the rocket wasn't going to hit. It was going to hit it all. I thought he was going to fire a second rocket, but that was so perfectly timed. Now, Pony Lion, coming in at number 1. Wait and suspend your judgment. It is just, I already thought that doing this in general, he decides to jump onto the AC-130, pull out his repair tool, or torch if you will, and create all these little black dots along the backside of it, and literally torch the AC-130 to death. And I find it very, very humorous that the size of the AC-130, like the gigantic fortress that it is, can be brought down by this little sort of repair tool that is the size of a baseball bat. But he's not done. He decides to parachute down and hit the jet directly in the center of its hull, or fuselage, if you will. That's what surprised me. I thought the play of actually taking down the AC-130 was good enough, but he jumps down and hits the jet perfectly in the fuselage. I thought that was very unexpected and definitely very superb on his part. Now, I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I will see you guys next time with episode 24. Big ups to Tom for being my homeboy, and I will see you guys next time. So thank you very much for watching. Later.